Building in a Small Town, where we're talking to entrepreneurs, community leaders, policymakers, and more to find out how they're building things in small towns. I'm your host, Shelby Smith. Hello and welcome back to the Building in a Small Town podcast. It's another husband and wife special. You say hi.
Hello.
We are back. I took last week off accidentally, but we just got busy. And you'll understand why. We're going to talk about what we've been working on and what's coming up. Oh, we can give you a Collins crime update as well.
Yes, our small town is under siege.
By some smooth criminals. I guess we can start with that.
Yeah, you can talk about that. I don't know any of the details.
Yeah, so a week after... yeah, it was a week. A week after our... And by our, I mean your truck and trailer was stolen. The bar across the street got broken into. And the bar owners, the one who tends the bar, she leaves the cash register drawer open just in the event of someone breaking in, and they don't break that as well or take it with them because those are expensive. So I totally get why she does it. But so she left that open. They have cameras on the inside, so they were able to see the person, but they were masked up and gloved up and all the things. They got away with 4 rolls of quarters, so $40 total. She said they went and they tried to shake the ATM machine, but it's bolted to the ground, so they quickly decided that was not a good plan.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why shake an ATM machine. It's not like a vending machine and something's going to fall out.
I don't know. You never know. But so attempted to shake that and then left out the back door and locked the door behind them. So at least they were considerate thieves. But anyway, so she said that was 4:15 in the morning. She's got notifications on her phone, so they woke her up and she was able to call the sheriff. But by the time they got there...
So how shortly did she, I mean...
I'm not sure.
Did her phone wake her up as they were...
In there, I think.
So that's what I want.
Yeah.
Something like that for...
With like a motion detector sort of situation. Yeah, but so it woke her up, and then, like I said, by the time, because I think they're in State Center, and freaking who knows where the deputy was, could have been all the way across the county.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 of them at any time. So who knows how long that took. But
so is 2 the maximum?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, covering the whole county at any
That's
time.
crazy.
Yep. So... so within a 7-day span, we did have a crime spree, but not to say that any of them were connected. We don't know. Ours maybe was connected to that one, but probably not, but who knows. I think because the guy was masked and gloved and everything, I don't think there's probably much of a shot. So... hard to say, but
probably not.
It was just a weird series of events there for 7 days around here, for sure.
Yeah, and I was awake shortly after the robbery. I got up at 5
that day. Yeah, because you were getting started early for something. I don't remember.
I think it's because it was really hot out.
Yeah, it was when it was those really hot days. So you guys were starting really early, so you could finish early. That was when it was. Yeah. So anyway, Collins just getting on the map in terms of
It's just a crime hotspot.
So, and then on our side with that, there's been no arrests made or anything. We're hopeful with subsequent conversations with law enforcement, but we don't really have any updates. Haven't gotten the saws back, so keep your eyes out for that. I have a feeling they'll be found in a ditch somewhere or a cornfield.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe not.
I've only needed it once. Haven't gotten a new one yet. I just kind of want to wait and see.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and
there's no reason to buy a new one at the end of
No.
the season. I think we have enough deductions for the year.
well, and truthfully, if you needed one that bad for a job, you could go rent one.
But I just said,
irritates.
it irritates me having to rent something
that you own.
that's like $100 a shot. When it costs $100 to rent it for a day, and you need it for 5 minutes every other day. That's with the sod cutter that we had talked about. You know, it's been sitting a lot. I mean, it's on long-term rental. It's been sitting for a while, but it sure is nice to have sitting at a job site for 3-4 days and use it twice, on the first day and the fourth day. Otherwise, so that would cost me $600 in rent.
Yeah.
Right now it's costing me $550 a month, and they allocate 75% towards a purchase. So it's an expensive way to deal with business with machinery, but I mean, that's how I did the excavator, and it worked out fine.
Yeah.
The jumping jack, the plate compactor. I think that's it. No,
Yeah.
I bought the jumping jack outright. The dingo I rented for 3 months, but they put 100% towards purchase. So,
Yeah.
shout out to Midwest Underground.
Yeah, that's its own story.
I'm sure they're listening.
You never know. Your man Mike might be listening.
Doubtful.
It's a different story for a different day. So we kind of wanted to talk about, or I wanted to talk about, I think I kind of forced you into this, but I wanted to talk about what we've been working towards, kind of what's next. And one of the big pieces has been in the works for quite a while. And I finally went and wrote a check for it this past Thursday. The bid had been accepted over 2 months ago. But to finally be able to close on 4 acres.
Maybe 4.5.
Yeah, possibly. Also a different conversation for a different day. But 4 acres of commercial property, which we were able to acquire from the city of Collins. 4 acres is, like I told you yesterday, I didn't really, until we were out there prospecting, walking around it, I didn't realize how big it is. So much room for activities.
Yeah, I mean, roughly 4 football fields.
I don't think in football fields.
Yeah.
So, but for you, it's going to be really big. It's more room to navigate, more room to store materials, more room to
turn around.
Yeah, just things that have been a challenge, shall we say, up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do with 4 acres?
Well, it's going to take a lot of work. To start, we're gonna bring in about 500 yards of compactable clay and build up a section for the parking pad. As we've talked about, I don't know if we've talked about the water problems in Collins.
I don't think we have.
But so there's some farm fields upstream of certain areas of the town that lots of the water flows, and so the area I have staked out, I don't think it gets a whole lot of water, but I'm not gonna put down $4,000 worth of gravel just for it to wash away. So, and also if we're gonna have a couple $100,000 worth of machinery sitting there, trucks and trailers and skid steers and excavators, I'm going to build it up about 18 inches with some compactable clay and get it graded and, put a 1% slope on it. And then we'll throw down some fabric, and we'll just start off with 4 inches of screenings. Screenings are not ideal, but it's the cheapest aggregate I can get.
What are screenings?
It's 3/8 minus limestone, crushed limestone.
It's gravel for
Yes.
those of you who are not landscaper speak.
Yep, so 4 inches is probably not enough, but it's just not in the budget right now to put it on a foot thick. And with the stabilization fabric underneath, that'll help with not needing as much gravel. So we'll start off with the parking pad, and then depending on what my allowance is in the next 24 months, maybe put up a new shop, because my current shop is also under siege, full of furniture and whatnot, and it's not super ideal. Anyways, I can barely even back a truck and trailer into it, just how it's positioned with the alley, and so I mean it was good enough. It's good enough for what I do now, but I'd like to have a wash bay and easily be able to pull trucks and trailers in there for maintenance, and have room for have my skid steers in there and be able to pull a truck in and out and not have to play ring around the rosy just to get something done. And then also, I mean, I'm not 100% sure what'll come next. I really want to have like a retail side of my business. I'd like to sell topsoil, compost, mulch, decorative gravel, driveway gravel. That will probably happen, I would say, within the next 6 months. And basically I need to have all that stuff in stock for myself, because I have to literally anywhere I can buy the materials, it's usually out of the way to the job sites. So it'd be nice just to have it on hand. I have a large frame skid steer to load materials with, and that way we can just load up and head out, and then I can dump what's left in the pile when the jobs are done, and I think it'll go pretty smoothly. But it'd be nice to just have that stuff for sale as well, because we have that small single axle dump truck that my stepdad drives, and we can advertise that and get deliveries and all that fun stuff. And then also I would possibly like to have a small nursery selling trees and shrubs. Basically, I have the space, and I think it would be nice to fill it up with things that I can sell.
Yeah. Natural stone too.
Yes, I would like to become a natural stone go-to person. I don't really want to deal with the manufactured blocks like the pavers or the retaining wall block or the edgers. I just think that's a lot of different things to have in inventory. I would like to sell like the massive limestone and natural stone blocks that people use for retaining walls. So I think I can be priced pretty competitively, even though I'm not as close to the metro as other suppliers, but just due to me having the additional space and the price was right, I just think it would be a good move. So if I could be the go-to guy for the natural stone stuff, that's less inventory to keep track of, and I know all about pavers and edgers and whatnot, but that's a lot for a potential employee to know all the different manufacturers, because my suppliers, like Cleaner Image, they carry 3 or 4 different paver lines, and some are face mix, some are smooth texture, some are, large slabs. That's just a lot of stuff to keep straight. I just want to have my natural stone, and that's it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
And that's kind of the stuff that you'd like to get more into anyways. We like natural stone projects.
Yes.
More than, they just end up looking better. They last longer. They just look so much better. I know they're more expensive for people, but
yeah, well, the actual stone is isn't that expensive, but the large dimensional, like the big slabs that weigh like 2,000 pounds. I mean, that it's the trucking. That is the most expensive part. And I guess in a perfect world, I would like to be in control of all that. I would like to get paid for the trucking. So have my own truck and go get the stone. And, I mean, that would be long-term plan. I wouldn't mind having a couple quad axle dump trucks too, because we got a couple quarries around us, and just try to get something lined up that'll trickle in some additional income. I think it's a lot easier to sell stuff and just say, hey, this dump truck load of dirt, it's $800. Do you want it? Yes or no? And they say yes, and I get $800 versus me saying, oh yeah, we can build a patio here and retaining wall there. I promise you it's going to look nice, but it's going to be $20,000. I think with the reputation we've built and all the reviews on Google and Facebook, people would be able to figure out that we will do a good job. But to me, I just think it seems easier to say, all right, this dirt's $800. You want it or not? And they say yes or no, instead of me trying to be like, well, this dirt's going to look pretty. It's like, no, it's just you're getting this dirt. So do you want it? I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, it's more objective in many ways.
And I know like the markup and the profit margin isn't as high as, doing intricate landscaping, but I would like a side of the business where it's like, this is for sale. It's $20.
Cut and dry.
Just, you want it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good diversification piece. And like, it's one of those things where most of this, I mean, all of the stuff that we'll have available are going to be things that you are going to use. And, it's like.
Well, we haven't done anything with the large dimensional wall stone.
I'm saying outside of that, I'm saying like the rock, the dirt, the compost, like those are all things that you're going to use. You're going to use. Yeah. So like.
Even if I was going to sell it or not, I'm going to have it anyways.
Yeah. So that's
because it irritates me having to drive all the way to Grimes to get some decent black dirt. So where I can, now that I have the space, I know some excavation contractors that have decent dirt, and just have some dump trucks delivered in the spring, and
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I think it's going to make a big difference in terms of efficiency, and like you said, just being able to frickin' turn around and get dump trucks, like get dump truck loads, because that's the thing.
Yeah, the max dump truck loads, I could have 2 different materials dumped.
Right.
And that's because I've built a good relationship with a trucking company and good relationship with one of the drivers, and he just knows where to dump it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's where. But it's always been limited in the space that you are currently in. Like you couldn't, even if you wanted to have.
Well, I've really wanted to have it for a long time.
Yeah.
But so then with the, we're talking just to get the space to park. Like I said, 500 yards of dirt. I mean, we're going to try to do it with my dump trailer. And I mean, I have a very high capacity dump trailer in our single axle dump truck, but I'm thinking that'll take 5 days just to bring in the dirt. And who knows how well Logan will be able to smear it around with the skid steer.
Yeah.
I have Carter out there with laser. He'll probably just be standing around most of the day, but that's fine. And then we're talking $5,000 worth of gravel and fabric, and
that's just materials.
Yeah, so budget wise, we're already kind of getting there. I mean, because we had to write the check for the land as well. So if I wanted to build bunkers, we're talking probably another $2,000 for those giant concrete blocks. And I wouldn't be thrilled about dumping the material on a gravel parking pad, because you're going to be wasting some, but so we could easily do another $3,000 worth of concrete. So, which, since I get real wound up about doing concrete, that since we're just adding a bunch of fill, I'm going to have a special area that I'd more than likely would bring in a roller, a sheep's foot roller, and make sure it's compacted, because I don't want to pour concrete and have it settle and crack. So I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. Hopefully I can make some money this winter.
Yeah.
So we can allocate some funds, and hopefully some furniture gets rolling. And
yeah. Well, it's just, I think with the 4 acres, it's one thing at a time. It's very much going to be a piecewise situation. But
just having the extra space is super critical to any business in my line of work.
Yeah.
And if you wanted 4 acres of commercial property in the metro, you'd really have to
good luck
open up the checkbook.
Well, and good luck finding it.
It could be swampland, and it'd still be $20,000 an acre, $30,000.
Yeah, I would say more than that. I think if it's in the actual, it just depends on where you are. Yeah, I think that it's another project. It's gonna be something else, but you're on a little bit of a tight timeline at the moment now because of me. Sorry. Like I said, the bid was accepted back in July, and I knew it was going to take a long time to get closed on that 4 acres. I didn't think it was going to take 2 months. I thought and I hoped that we were going to be closed like middle of August, latest kind of thing. And then it just freaking drug out.
Yeah, and it's not super ideal timing either, because in lieu of the potential, work to get everything ready and kind of feeling some burnout effects of the long, hard season, it's kind of pumping the brakes a little bit on stuff. Well, then I got sick and the theft, and so that, I mean, it just kind of hasn't been super ideal, but it'll get done.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Well, and we've also in the last 2 weeks had work start piling up too.
Yeah.
Whereas like
more work accepted.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is what it is. What just is tough for me is, as a small business that's still trying to somewhat scale a little bit and grow. I mean, we're going to be, and I know it's going to be worth it, and I know the look you're going to give me, but we're not going to be making any money. We're not going to make cash flow as we are doing this. And I'm just hope it doesn't put us in a bind. I mean, we have some jobs that we can sprinkle in as we're chugging.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
The thing is,
the bills don't care.
I know the bills don't care, but also, like, I can't move my open date. So, like,
I know. I just was elaborating to our viewers.
Current situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, but
just being for real.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like I said, I was intending and hoping that this was going to be closed by the middle of August, so we didn't. I personally feel kind of under the gun right now. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel under the gun because I have a store opening in 19 days. And part of it requires a nice looking back of my building. So if you didn't know and you're not following on social media or anything, I am opening a home goods store called The Backyard Home Goods and Hangout. And so I sold the cricket business. I think I talked about that already. I sold the cricket business back in July. Anyway, so the building that used to have the commercial kitchen where I used to manufacture everything. I wanted to do something with that building. So Willie has been operating out of the back of that building and the empty lot next to it, which I own as well. That's where he's been operating for the last 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
I'm not sure.
I'm
Some
not sure.
people always ask me how long I've been in business, and I really don't even know.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Regardless, it was not enough space. I mean, it was enough space for the price, shall we say. But it's not been the ideal situation. And so we knew once the 4 acres became a possibility and we could move all of his stuff, then that gave me more opportunity in the back there to create a cool space, potentially like some sort of an event space in the future, kind of a deal. But my store is called The Backyard. It needs a cool backyard. And so we have 19 days to get all of the things out of it over to the 4 acres. Which, how long do you think it's going to take? A day to get that stuff
Get everything
on?
cleaned up?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a day. I mean, if we got 2 skid steers, me, Tom, the boys,
Yeah.
maybe a day and a half.
Yeah. Okay. So getting it cleaned up.
It also depends how worked up I want to get about scraping all the gravel out of it and reusing it, which I don't think
Yeah.
probably not even
Probably not worth it.
gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have a skid steer, a track loader on rent, I mean, because I have some jobs lined up that I'll need a larger track skid steer than the Dingo. I'm fine with ramrodding someone else's machine, but not mine.
Yeah. As long as you can give it back. Yeah. So that's where I can't move. My grand opening date is.
When is it?
27th.
What day is it now?
The 8th.
Okay.
Okay. As we said, we got 19 days. Essentially 18 days as we're at the end of day 19. But so we have, I don't know. I know now that the 4 acres is ours, now you can move stuff over there. And now that you're telling me it's only going to take a day, great. Because eventually, like, we want to turn it into a very cool, very well landscaped backspace with like patios and maybe like a water feature.
And pergolas.
And a pergola.
Pergolas.
Multiple?
Yeah, people like shade.
Okay. Well, we're going to do a tree for that too. Anyway, so it's going to be what I would call a pocket park. I'm taking that because I think that is kind of how we got to think about it.
But we're forcing them to walk through the store.
Yeah.
We're funneling them in.
To the retail area. Yeah, you'll have to go through my store to get to it. And we're going to fence off a portion of it. And behind that fence, so that kind of then will separate it from the alley. But then behind that fence is the potential to have like a food truck, food court sort of a situation.
I thought at the beginning the food truck was going to be outside of the fence.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, on the other
Like
side of
between
the
that
fence.
and the alley.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's still the plan. Still the plan. But, so that's where I think prior to open, everything gets cleaned out. You grade everything. Right?
Yeah.
Grade it the way you want it.
Well, just get it smooth. I mean,
Yes.
I wouldn't say grade it because we're not like installing anything.
Sorry, technicality. We'll plant some plants. We'll throw down some mulch, most likely, on the whole area. Okay.
On the whole area?
Okay, maybe not. You're giving me a look.
That's $1,000, $2,000 worth of mulch.
Okay, what are we going to put down then?
I thought we were going to do like a decorative gravel.
Yeah, we
area.
are. Part of it. Yeah, okay. Yes, we're still doing that. But so anyway, it's an evolving plan that we have 18 days to get done. So, no big deal.
So you want the landscaping done for your open date?
What?
I thought you said that stuff could wait.
Which portion? All of it?
No, I just...
Like, I can't have it be a mud pit in the back.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I just was curious.
And like the fence has to be up.
Yeah. What?
What did you think? Like, what was it going to look like?
Well, I thought you just wanted it cleaned up for your open.
And muddy. Just mud pit.
Well, there's gravel.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, we'll get it done. Don't worry. I have to reorganize some things on the schedule.
Yeah. This is why I'm stressed about it a little bit.
It'll be all right.
Okay.
I'll get it. I'll get it taken care of.
I know you will. So, but yeah, so I am opening we're going to call it a home decor store because it's not an antique shop. It's not all vintage. It's called the Backyard Home Goods and Hangout. It gives me a lot of leeway. So basically what happened is I started redoing a bunch of furniture with the building. It's really where it started. Because nothing except for our mattress and the bed frame and this table, technically, I suppose, was built. Nothing was new in this building except for those two things. And so
the TVs are new, or one of them.
Furniture, not electronics.
Okay.
So we furnished this whole thing with things that I either Facebook Marketplace thrifted, refinished, etc. So that's where I started doing that. And then I started doing some of that to like sell, and it got some really early traction. So then it's just kind of morphed into, I could open a store because I have this building. And I know we could create a really cool back space because we're going to have the space. And yeah. So that's coming end of this month. I will be part of the Central Iowa Junk Jaunt. So I think there's 30 different stops. That's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Goes from Collins, Jewel, Story City, Ames, Rural Boone, Cambridge, Huxley. It's all over the place. But so I wanted to be open. I wanted that to be my grand opening weekend and open that weekend because that way I can piggyback off of somebody else's marketing and advertising. Central Iowa Junk Jaunt has like 23,000 followers on Facebook. So that just gains me some name recognition with what would generally speaking be my target market. So that was kind of the thought process behind that. So I committed to that back in July, maybe. Like I said, after the 4 acres had been, maybe it was June. Maybe it was June when I applied. I don't remember. Anyways, like I said, I committed to that knowing the 4 acres was happening and thinking that we would have a little bit more time to get ready because we would have the 4 acres already. But it is what it is. So
if we would have had it when I was sick, that would have been
also not
ideal.
Really?
Well, I could have worked. I mean,
no, you couldn't have. That's why you ended up as sick as you did, because you did not stop. So anyway, so yeah, so we have. That's why we missed podcast recording last week, because it's just been busy. It has been trying to get a store open, trying to stay on track on the landscaping stuff.
We got it painted and kind of tuck pointed.
Yeah.
The utilities covered up. I don't know what else we've done. Moved a lot of furniture in there.
We need to get better at it. There's still a lot of furniture to be moved. There's just a lot. There's a lot to be done in the next 18 days. But it's going to be fine. It's going to be cool. It's going to be great. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's a new adventure. But so we're going to do that. Possibly be adding some retail on the landscaping side of things.
Yeah. I mean, Do you want to talk about the other things that you talked about potentially? Okay. Never mind.
No, we need to let those simmer a little bit. Let them simmer. We got to think about it. It's got to simmer. Talking about a thing and doing a thing require the same resources. Act accordingly. I don't like to talk about things until I do it.
Yeah. Well, all right then.
Anything else?
No, I mean, the bike trail getting paved is cool.
Yeah,
that'll help with reviving a small town.
That'll help with traffic. That'll help with outside traffic for us.
Yeah. I guess at least my vision of the backyard is just a nice shaded area outside for people to come look at home decor, maybe spend some money, go hang out, drink a mimosa, eat a cinnamon roll, drink some coffee. I mean, this is all stuff would be down the road, but something that would be like a destination for people to just come hang out, I guess. Because in my mind, if my significant other drugged me 30 minutes away to a little building with furniture to buy, I wouldn't want to go unless there was something else to do. So we are providing other places, because I would just be following this person around the store, not looking at anything, and I could just go sit down and relax while they do their thing. So I think that'll be a nice aspect to what we're trying to do. It's going to take a while to get to where I want it to be, because it's going to be the equivalent of like $80,000 worth of landscaping.
Which is not in the budget yet.
No, I mean, it would, if I wasn't a landscaper and I said, hey, let's do this, they'd be like, okay, $80,000. I mean, we'd probably be in it $15,000 in materials. So it's not.
Yeah.
And then since I've actually never been able to do my own project for myself in the trade that I'm in, I've always had to either do like carpentry or plumbing, hang drywall for myself. I actually haven't been able to do landscaping for myself, or dirt work or drainage. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, that way I wouldn't have to worry about tearing up my own yard or whatever. I just can just ramrod it in and be done.
Yeah. And then if you're mad at whoever tore up the yard, it would be you. You'd be mad at yourself.
Well, I mean, there's no yard to tear up, so.
Yeah.
Be pretty easy install is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fine. It's going to be fine. Just a lot of work to do. More money to spend. But more money to make.
And building in a small town.
Yeah. Well, if you build it, they will come. If you build it and you market it properly, they will come.
Yeah.
So, that's where we should probably revisit this conversation in like a month. After be my first 2 weekends
well, there
open.
won't be much going on with the landscaping, because we're like the new landscaping headquarters. It's the end of the season, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, I think from an update on how the store is, like, opening weekend, all of that. Maybe we can wait 6 weeks. Maybe we'll just wait till the end of the year. Be the first 3 months.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't seem sold on this idea. It's fine.
Well, basically, we're just trying to pump up Main Street and Collins. I was talking to Shelby this morning. I want to be for those of you that have watched, what's that show called? The
Boardwalk Empire.
Where you learn about Atlantic City. I mean, I doubt it's like historically correct, but basically, you know, people building up Atlantic City, but obviously they're like all like gangsters and deal with like prostitution and liquor and whatever. So we won't like err to that side of it, but basically just try to get something sparked on Main Street where, like, the main thing in that show in Atlantic City, the people are traveling to Atlantic City during the summer to have fun and whatnot. And so we got that bike trail that's going to be paved. And I don't know if any of you guys have been to Slater or what are those the towns on the bike trail?
Slater, Madrid, Woodward.
At least from my perspective, those towns are hopping.
Yeah. Because of the bike
bikers.
trail. Right.
So we have our bike trail. We have a Main Street. We have some stuff going on Main Street, but if we can just concentrate on getting people here. But if you get people here, you want them to stay for a little while, and the longer they stay, the more money they spend. I don't know. I just think that'd be pretty cool. I could be the Nucky Thompson of Collins without the murders and extortion and all that, prostitution,
yeah,
heroin.
Yeah, maybe leave those out.
But yeah. we'll deal some furniture and some landscaping supplies.
We can probably figure out how to entertain people too.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's going to take a group effort of more than just us.
Yeah.
But I think people will follow suit. I mean, we got the gun shop too. They would benefit from people.
Yeah, foot traffic
on Main Street.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see. Like I said, I think there's just a lot of potential. It's just gonna be a lot of work.
Because there's only so much you can do in Ankeny and Ames. You know, you live in Ames, trying to find someplace new in Ames, you're going to run out of places.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you just want to get out of Ames or Ankeny or...
come see what it's like to live like simple folk.
Gotta get our crime down, though. Might deter
the
tourists.
I mean, we're not looking to bring in any riffraff. I don't think they could afford the furniture. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I think that, like I said, there's so much potential there. It's just, there's going to be a lot of work. We have a lot of work staring us in the face. But it'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess it's not super daunting to me. I mean, I always don't have the machinery that I want. Like, if I had a big dump truck, getting this 4 acres, you know, where I want it would take half the time. So that, you know, is kind of frustrating, but moving dirt, I mean, we do it every day. Now that the scale that we're doing it at for our landscaping projects is very minimal compared to what we're doing, but you still use the same concepts. You figure out how are you going to move it the fastest and spread it the fastest and most efficiently and price wise the cheapest. So I'm not worried about that part. It's just
I'm not worried about that part either.
Yeah, I'm not saying you are. I was just telling the viewers that
I'm worried about mine.
Oh,
being ready for
open.
Well,
that's 2 days worth of work of installing the.
So a day and a half of getting it out.
Yeah.
And 2 days of install.
Yeah.
Including fence?
3 days then.
Okay. So 5 days.
Yeah.
We got 18. I would like it to not be the last 5 days too. That would be helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Just gotta trust me.
I do. Just reminding you because you asked me when my open date was. That's all.
Yeah, I hear you record those videos every day. I just don't pay attention.
I know. You just make fun of me.
So we need about 30 yards of mulch, about $1,000 worth of plants. We need some edging. Need some rock.
$1,000 worth of plants?
I don't know, 500 maybe.
See,
I guess I don't really know what you're planning on planting.
I also don't think that you have concept of how much plants cost.
Who's going to spray all the weeds?
I don't know. You.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know that 1,000. Well, maybe it will be $1,000 worth of plants by the time if we do a tree or two. I think we should probably just start with one tree.
We might end up having to scrape up a lot of the gravel. It's hard to
It's hard to say until you get everything out.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I'd just get everything out. Are you going to switch the gutters?
You'll have to hire someone to do that. I don't know how to do gutters.
Dang it.
I mean, it's probably fine the way it is now. It can be like that when you open.
Yeah. But, like, we need to maybe take the extension thing off so people don't trip over it.
Yeah. Yep.
If only I had somebody who could, bury it for me.
There's not enough cover.
Fall. Dang it.
Not enough cover or fall.
Killing me.
We can just do a little dry creek bed, let it percolate into. I do know the internet's right there, but
Yeah, it is.
Get locates done and see what we can work with.
Yeah. All right. Well, I swear if you're waiting on something from us in the next 2 weeks, you'll be waiting a little bit because we're busy. I don't know. I'm in freaking go mode at the moment every day, in case you haven't noticed. And so are you. Because like I said, we got the work stacking up too on the backside, which is good.
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of feeling the effects of the 10 days
Of fun.
of just
Of sick, and then
Sick
people
and-
stealing your shit, and then throwing your back out.
yeah, it never really like conceptualizes while it's happening how it affects my business until like afterwards, where it's like, man, that really messed us up.
Yeah.
Well, and then Carter was gone too.
Yeah.
So that didn't help because he could have picked up the slack
Yeah.
for us, and Johnny was unavailable. Probably would have brought him in to help. Well, and then also the job we're on now doubled in scale.
Yeah.
It was one of those where the customer was maybe a little unsure if we were going to, do a good job and do what we said we were going to do. And only took him a few days to realize that we actually do what we say we're going to do. And then they just started piling up the additions.
Like to the point where we've had to tell them no more unless we have space at the end of the season.
Oh, did you say that?
No, but you were going to.
I didn't say that.
I'm saying, did you change your mind on that then?
No, I just...
Okay. I thought you said you were going to tell him that if you have space at the end of November.
No, that's for like if he wants us to like work on some farm stuff, like work on his waterways and whatnot.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not landscaping related.
Okay. I thought he was looking at adding like more landscaping stuff while you guys were still there in addition to like what you guys just added.
No.
Okay. Never mind.
No, so yeah, that job doubled in size, and so that added a week. Then we had Labor Day.
Yeah.
Um,
Haven't had any rain, thankfully.
No.
Knock on wood.
just the absurd heat.
Yeah.
So that happened. So yeah, it just...
Yeah, and the heat like that slowed you guys down a lot,
Yeah,
too.
that probably added a day's worth of work
But that
just
was
because it was
miserable.
hot. Trying to think if anything else happened that was good or bad that slowed us down. I think that's about it. So
Yeah.
we're, it doesn't matter because we didn't close on the property, but let's say we would have closed 2 weeks ago and all that stuff didn't happen, it'd be done.
Yeah.
without a doubt, or almost done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the joys of being in business for yourself is
Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
So, oh well, is what it is. All that being said, come to the backyard, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. I will be open from 9 to 5 on the Friday and the Saturday, and 11 to 3 on the Sunday. And then it's not going to be like I'm open regularly sort of a situation.
So it's not like a brick and mortar where you're open 5 days a week.
Right. So I'm only going to be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, once or twice a month. I have posted on my Instagram and my Facebook page, which are Shop the Backyard IA. I have posted on there the dates of intending to be open. I'm pretty sure there's 2 weekends in October. There's definitely 2 weekends in November, and then 2 weekends in December. So the intention is to be probably a once a month in 2025, but we'll just see. Like, we'll see I have no idea what the cadence is going to need to be or should be for me to get things, keep things in stock and everything else. It's a lot of learning curve that's coming up for me, in addition to, just getting the shop open. So,
yeah. And then also, if you're in the Collins area and you have an excavation project and you have extra dirt you need to get rid of, I'm not going to pay for it, but...
But you don't have to truck it as far.
Yeah, you don't have to truck it as far. Save you a bunch of money, so...
Yeah. Fill dirt wanted.
Yep.
Other than that, thanks for listening to us ramble a little bit and update you on all of the things that are coming up. Have a great week.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.